Hi students, thank you for joining me today. We're going to do a little bit more clarifications on week 2 assignment so you can understand the formulas used for this week. So my name is Ann Hale. I'm an instructor here at UMA. Active ingredient is going to be a formula that you're going to be using very rarely in the pharmacy, but it's good to know how to do these calculations. A dermatologist prescribes a medication which contains 12 grams of this aluminum chloride hexahydrate in 54 milliliters of alcohol base. So they want to know what the final strength of this medication is. Plus, do not forget that you have to round to the nearest hundredth place, which means it's 2 places right of the decimal. And when you see this bracket here of W over V, this means weight divided by volume. The weight is going to be your grams, and the V stands for milliliters. So as you can see here, it's pretty much telling you how to do this problem. So as we can see here that you have your 12 grams as your active ingredient, divided by 54 total milliliters. Now, because it's asking for final strength, your answer is going to be in percent. So don't forget that. So in order to add that percent into your equation, you have to multiply by 100. All right? So the key words here to know that the answer is in percent is what is the final strength of the medication. Okay? And of course, it's got those brackets that are in there, the W over V. All you got to do is divide and multiply by 100. So when we do that, you're going to be doing 12 divided by 54 times 100, and it gives you 22.22. Now remember with the nearest hundredth place, which is 2 places right of the decimal, and don't forget to add that percent sign. All right, so you're with me? Let's do another one here. So on final concentrations on this one, this is going to be needing a little bit of conversion here. So 6 tablespoons of extract are mixed with this distilled water to total 300 milliliters. What is the final concentration? Here they're telling you again. So this is V divided by V. That means V is volume, volume is milliliters. So you have to understand that we have to convert 6 tablespoons to milliliters. So if you know that 1 tablespoon is 15 milliliters, all you got to do is take the 6 times 15, all right, to get your numerator. Your denominator, of course, is the total 300 milliliters right here, okay? So we have our V divided by V multiply by 100. So we have our 90 divided by 300 gives us 0.3, but remember we have to add the percent sign times 100, so we are going to get 30%. That is our answer. That's how simple some of these answer of these questions are. It's not as hard as you think. Once you get in the groove of doing these and seeing these key points that it's telling you to divide, and then all you have to do is multiply by 100 for the percent sign. All right, you with me? So on daily dosages, some of you are great on doing daily dosages, and some of you just need a little refresher from the beginning of other classes. So in this case here, we have another conversion that we have to do. 1 liter IV bag that contains 120 milligrams, right, of this tobramycin. So think of it as this 1 IV bag, and in this IV bag is 120 milligrams of tobramycin. But the patient is only supposed to receive 50 milligrams of tobramycin. And this one is asking to round to the 10th place. So remember, that's only 1 place right of the decimal. okay? So those little key points here. We have to convert our liter to milliliters, because remember, see right here it says how many milliliters. So we have to convert our 1 liter to milliliter, all right? So let's set this up. So when we set this up using our cross multiply divide ratio proportion, there's a lot of different names for this, or looking for x. A lot of you people may have had algebra in high school, looking for x. So this may be easy for you. But for us that in the beginning, some of us haven't had schooling in so long, we need a refresher on how to look for x. So I like to put on the left side of my equation the known and put my unknown on the right. So as you can see here, our known is our converted IV bag with the 120 milligrams of topramycin. So I have 120 milligrams over 1,000 milliliters. So remember, 1 liter times 1,000 equals 1,000 milliliters. All right? What the patient's receiving is 50 milligrams, but we don't know how many milliliters that is, right? So let's do our cross multiply divide. So we have 1,000 times 50. Then we're going to divide away from x back to the known to 120. So we have our 1,000 times 50 divided by 120. And I use one of these great dollar calculators. They're wonderful. You just have to punch in the numbers and the symbols all at once and then hit the equal sign. I love it. I love these little dollar calculators. Plus, they're very easy to carry around. Once you have your scrubs on you, they're great to keep in your scrub pocket. Okay? So when we do the calculations, our answer is going to come up with 416.6 milliliters. All right, with me? Wonderful. So just remember that when you are reading these problems, you want to be sure that you understand how to read these problems. As you can see here, there's nothing that says about final strength, and there's no little brackets. All this is asking is how many milliliters of fluid will the patient receive. So you know this is going to be a daily dose, and this is a combination of cross multiply divide or ratio proportion method for your calculation. Always read what the question is asking. So here we have another one here, that this patient, if 750 milliliter bag contains 300 milligrams of gentamicin and the patient's receiving 300 milliliters, they want to know in this case how many milligrams of gentamicin did the patient receive. So here again, I put my known on the left and my unknown on the right. Okay, so we have 750 milliliters over 300, and we have the 300 over x. So do our cross multiply divide. So you have your 300 times 300 divided by 750, and you'll come up with, did you get the right answer on your calculator? Very good. So if you did, you should have the same answer as I have here on the board. Very good. Proud of everybody. One more. This is another way that you will see daily dosages. It's already telling you how to do these problems. The order, which is from the physician, doctor's office, available. This is what you're going to be taking off the shelf. So it's complete entity. You don't separate these. And then it's asking how many milliliters are needed for each dose. Not how much for the day, but for each dose. So I do nothing with every 12 hours. You don't need that information at all. So our known here is our 60 milligrams over 2 milliliters. And our patient is going to be needing 60 milligrams, but we don't know how many milliliters, correct? So do our cross multiply and divide. 2 times 60 divided by 60. And what'd you get? Very good. You should have the same answer I have here. 2 milliliters. All right, so you're understanding this easier now? I'm sure you are. So dilutions is another, golly, here's another formula we have. This one's a lot of fun. This one's very easy to read. And I highlighted it here for you. So this one's asking how much 5% solution can you make by diluting 350 milliliters of a 10% solution. The best way I have found to calculate these type of formulas, oops, I went by here, where am I? Is to make sure that this top part here is your numerator. Of becomes times. How much is your dividing? So to put in our formula here, you have 350 times 10 is our numerator, and divided by 5%. How much is our denominator? So let's see how we do this setup. So the setup is 350 times 10. Remember, of becomes your multiplier, and then how much means you're going to divide. Very simple. And once we do our calculations, you see here that when you're looking at this information, that your answer is going to be 700 milliliters. From your calculator, you're going to punch these in, and then you should come up with 700 milliliters. Sorry about that. So what do you think? Easy and simple and fun, right? Okay, so if you have any questions whatsoever on your assignment, and remember, all these numbers and questions, I have changed all the numbers. So I wouldn't be literally giving you the answers to the assignments, right? So make sure that you are just switching the numbers out and practice, practice, practice. So I thank you for being part of UMA for your education. And if you need to email me, please email me at annhill@ultimatemedical.edu. Till next time, happy studying.